Okay, everyone, welcome to the very first Salon Spa chat here on Blab. I am co-host tonight. We're going to have different hosts each Monday afternoon at 4:30 Pacific or 7:30 Eastern. So that's 6:30 Central. We're trying to get everybody in that we can. And so welcome. If you are watching the replay, if you're watching this on Facebook or on YouTube, if you're watching it any place other than Blab, Blab is a super easy account to get. It's free. You can get it through your Twitter account, or you can even subscribe to Blabs without having to, you can watch them just in real time without being able to communicate. So I hope while you're watching this, you get the bug. Everybody here has the Blab bug. And it's a really great way to round out your learning or engage with people from around the world. So with that, I'm going to be enough about Blab, and let's get on with the show, which is all about how to be on it, have your A game going, even when you feel lousy or your day is rotten, or so on. So I've got two fabulous co-hosts tonight. I've got Jon-David, and he's the handsome gentleman in the corner that I'm not pointing to, the one that I'm never pointing to in the right direction, right? And then the beautiful Jennifer Ellis down below. They're going to tell you a little bit about themselves. And we've got some fabulous people in the chat room also that I'd like to bring in. In fact, I think I'm going to bring in Cheval right now while you both are introducing yourselves. Is that okay?
Yeah, that's great.
Great. Okay. Go
Jennifer,
ahead.
you start. You introduce yourself, please.
Good evening. I am Jennifer Ellis Jackson of Simple Mantra Marketing, and I teach hairstylists and beauty professionals how to make money. I call myself a brand monetization coach. And specifically, that means just working with beauty professionals to better message, better generate more leads, and ultimately make more money. So that's what I do.
Great.
Awesome. My name is Jon-David, known as Moppy Hairdresser, which is also my brand. And I'm a hairdresser who is a social media guy because I marketed that book called Moppy Hairdresser, which became the brand. And so I do the same, and in general, I think all of us coaches on Salon Spa Chat, we're just really coming together to educate and give our knowledge to the salon spa barber world, and we are in the general public of corporate and business. We'll work with anybody, but that glues the salon, spa, and barber industry into modern techniques of marketing and social media. And that's what we're kind of doing here. And that's what I'm all about here at Salon Spa Chat too. So I love to be co-hosting with my besties here and bring in the game.
Excellent. So I was sitting there earlier today, and I was thinking about this Blab tonight. And, bringing your A game in our business is, in any business, it's important. There's no doubt about it, right? But there's some businesses that have a little bit more margin of not having your A game. And what I mean by that is if you're working with your hands, right, and your income is derived for the services that you're providing, whether it's hair or skin or makeup, whatever it is, right? Mm-hmm. If you're having a lousy day and you're acting like you're having a lousy day, your income is going to be impacted immediately. There's no long-term effect from it. It's an immediate effect. And so I think in service-based industries, especially where gratuities are a significant portion of the income, this kind of conversation is really important.
It's super important because you learn as a young stylist, and that's what I was, and I did facials and manicures for years too. You realize that you're there for the client, and you can say, yeah, my pet passed away or something like that, but that's it, a generality. And then you just move into, and then you get the thank you or the I'm sorry or what have you. And then you move right into your job, which is to beautify this outside of this person to support the inner person. And they are coming with their strife and their problems, and you're there to listen.
And more importantly, when that client sits in that chair, gets this service, it's really all about them. You're just there as a venue or an opportunity to service them, but they really don't have a whole lot of tolerance for foolishness in terms of if it's going to impact their service. So if they're getting a haircut or if they're getting their nails done, and if you're not bringing your A game, they could think that that might mean that you're not ready to service them. So that could also affect your brand short term as well as long term, as well as your reputation. So you really have to kind of watch it, as Jackie mentioned, more so in our industry and so many more than others. That really is a challenge because it is such a hands-on, intimate relationship interaction with a particular service.
Ooh, yeah, reputation. That will spread too.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So are you guys having an A-game kind of day today?
Yeah, absolutely. I didn't talk to anybody about my computer all day. I've been writing. So A-game there. And what the great thing about what I do is I work probably 90% upstairs in my condo and do social media writing and writing books and tutorials and so forth. And then I get drawn back into downstairs, which is a salon, which I get to do my A game with my clients, which makes me understand more and write about what they're doing and take that into my writing. So that's an A game for me. So that's a good thing for me.
And for me, I have to be able to authentically connect, to be able to let my clients know that I understand what their issues are, what their challenges are, in order to be able to help them develop strategies to grow or to address any opportunities that they're having. So really in my space, because I'm not involved directly with clients, providing the service is more important for me to bring my A game so I can look holistically as well as understand what the challenges are in order to be able to make recommendations. So if I don't bring my A game, then I don't eat.
Yeah.
It's really important for me to do.
Great point.
Yeah.
That's a great point. Well, I've got to tell you, I was dangerously on the edge of not having an A-game kind of day today. And interestingly, it wasn't anything that happened. It wasn't a mood. We have, I don't know if you all are familiar, but in Southern California, there's a weather phenomenon called Santa Ana winds. I don't know if you've ever heard of it, but it's where the winds come off the desert and they're very dry and very dusty, and it's instantaneous. For people who have allergy issues, it's the worst time of year for us. And so over the weekend, we had Santa Ana's pretty strong on Saturday, overnight, Friday night to Saturday. I was actually in bed the entire day Saturday until Sunday morning. I couldn't even move. My head felt like it was exploding and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, oh, my God, I've got to get my stuff together. I've got so much going on. And I've got this A-game blab, right? So fortunately, I did everything that I needed to do to get right enough where I could come on, be with all of you, not look like I was dying. I am sort of dying, but I'm trying not to look too much like it. So part of the trick in that was knowing what I needed to do in advance to get well enough to be able to perform today. So I wasn't doing anybody's skin today, right? So I didn't have that worry. However, this is part of my work as well. And so I needed to bring A here. So one of the things I was going to ask you guys, what do you do, right, when you know that you're not having an A-game type day, right? When things are not working well or whatever, what are you guys doing to get yourself back, on the feeling good, being great for your clients? What specifically do you do to make yourself feel better or operate more authentically as you do regularly for your clients?
For me, it's listening. When I'm listening to my client, I will instantly give away that the clogged nose. I have allergies as well, or I will forget. I will address the runny nose if I have to. I will address that, but I usually just get pulled into people's stories. A as a writer, that's how I became a writer. Just listening to people's stories, that this is phenomenal, or your life story, and I'll get drawn into them. And also, the word grateful comes to mind, because you no matter what, sometimes I'll go downstairs and I really don't want to do here, I don't want to do here right now, and I will be not feeling quite into it for some reason, and I'm not feeling my A game, and it could be allergies as well, but as soon as I'm down there, I have to go, wow, I'm so grateful, because I'm not experiencing what they're experiencing. Maybe if I'm hearing something negative, or they're definitely not on their A game. But the grateful pushes me into another consciousness. It really does. It will take my consciousness and put it into a greater expansion of, wow, you're lucky to be doing this, whether you have a bad day or you're not on your A game. It's a big mind shifter for you.
Absolutely. So is there something specific, though, that you do to go to gratitude? Do you journal? Do you look up quotes? Do you, what do you do?
I'm a meditator.
Oh,
big meditator.
Nice.
Yeah. So in 2 seconds, I can plug into any number of websites, or I can just sit and count backwards from 10, and I have a little mantra, the swan, time to meditate, healthy body, excellent eater, and I can picture all these things that are me that I visualize, and it will take me there. So some people just go, I'm on the beach. I'm instantly on the beach, and they can get there. And because I'm so well practiced in it, I can move there much quicker. And anyone that wants to learn how to meditate to move into your A game, I suggest start now, and in 3 months you might get it, because it's like harnessing the wind. So Jennifer, what do you do for to bring in your A game what are your positive triggers?
Similar to you, the open seat just came up. I very much am a meditator. I start the morning out with a routine. I start out with exercising. I write in my gratitude journal in order. When I'm going back and forth in the day, when it's rough, I get up, walk outside, break state, come back in, and then go head on. But it's always coming from a place of gratitude. And I listen to a lot of inspirational things during the day, so oceans on my phone, or birds chirping, or rain dropping. But meditation has really helped me be able to focus in, because I'm so connected with people and embracing their challenges and opportunities. It really is important for me, as Jon-David said, number one, to listen, but number two, to focus, and I absolutely have to be present. So when I know I'm not present, when I'm drifting, when I'm thinking about something else, I have to step away and come back. But meditation is key for me to be able to always be in my A game. And when I'm not doing that, or when something is happening, I'm not able to exercise, not able to meditate, not able to drink a lot of water. Jackie, I know you mentioned that several weeks ago. It really impacts me. So I definitely know these 4 or 5 things I have to do daily in order to bring my A game when I work with clients.
That's great. Gerald, welcome.
Hey, Gerald.
Hey, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
And so good to see you, Miss TJ Bernardi, Jackie Bernardi.
Gerald, I've missed you. We have not been able to hang out very much lately on Blab, and I miss that. Okay, y'all get prepared, because whatever Gerald is about to drop on us is no big build-up or anything, Gerald.
Really? You gotta bring that A game, Mr. Gerald, I tell you.
No, well, the things I do, I actually always encourage all my clients. We have a system we call AMP that we do with the New Law Quarter, and that's appreciation, meditation, prayer. Start your day with 5 minutes of appreciation, 15 minutes of meditation, and then you go into prayer. I believe that all 3 of those work to keep you clear and on task, because so many people, especially, know about the prayer part. A lot of people pray. The meditation is coming into it now. It's becoming trendy to meditate. For so many years, we always thought that you were doing something weird if you meditated. But meditation is so key, because you pray to talk to God, but you meditate to listen. So you have to be silent so that you can get the information that you need to be able to proceed through your day on point and on task.
That's beautiful. I like that. AMP.
I agree with that too, wholeheartedly. And that's I'm writing a what's called a goal achiever program. It's basically same thing as traction or many other goal setting things. But because I'm a hairdresser and or my brand, I can speak a little bit more freely. And not be as corporate-y. I can layer those types of techniques in there and say, yeah, it's great. What is prayer? What is scientific prayer? What is religious prayer? You gotta, whatever works for you in that realm, I say you must do it, because this is a part of what makes you work and part of what makes you come to work and be present and to bring your A game. It will put your spirituality, your meditation, you're taking care of your body, taking enough water in. These are all parts of being able to bring in your A game.
Absolutely. I believe that too. I'm totally on board with you. So, yeah, it's important. You have to have the right energy anyway to bring your A game. See, because a lot of people start their day flat, or they go outside and they let something external just ruin their morning, like almost getting into an accident. You didn't get into an accident, but you're pissed off about something that didn't even happen. And then they carry that with them for at least the rest of the morning, and next thing you know, they ruin half of their day, so they don't even get back on track to having a decent day. So it's very important to have the right energy and keep it balanced at all times. So
I think it's interesting because people don't realize that the energy that they have, again, they transfer it in the interactions that they're having throughout the day. So that's very important. It can be, as you mentioned, something as small as if you greet someone and you feel like they didn't greet you properly, you can let that get into your head and then take that into the day. And then there you go. You're not bringing your A game. So for us who are directly interacting with people, it is absolutely essential that I don't even, of course, we're human and we can have a bad day or we cannot bring our A game. But what's critical is that we know how to come back to our A game.
There you go.
If we're not bringing our A game, then we have to be mature enough to say, well, I can't really do this right now. I can't service you the way that I need to, or serve for a specific client, which impacts the revenue. And then say, well, maybe there's something that I can do later. But if you know you're about to perform a service, and as an esthetician, a stylist, a makeup artist, and you know you're not ready, you get that funky haircut because I just had a bad day, that's just unacceptable. We can't have that. So we have to figure out how to strike a balance between bringing our A game, servicing the clients, and at the same time making it an ultimately mutual beneficial interaction.
So let me ask you guys then. So you're in your day now. You're having a great day, right? And as Gerald said, something happens and you attach something to it that throws you off, right? So what do you do when you're in the moment? So Gerald, you're in a meeting, let's say, or Jon-David, you're with a client, right? And it happens in the moment. Something happens, something occurs, you get a call, all of your afternoon appointments cancel. I don't know what it is, but whatever it is, it throws you. What do you do in that moment when you have people right in front of you? What are you guys doing in that moment to redirect, refocus, get back to your A games?
I think for me, I have to be as honest as I can with the client and enroll them into knowing that something has happened, and I'm going to try and take care of it and place it where it needs to be outside of their appointment. Meaning, I'm going to step aside for a minute. I'm going to handle this. It could be even a phone call that I have to urgent or something with a family member that could be upsetting, but you have to enroll your client into, oh, I'm a human being right now. I'm not your coach. I'm not your hairdresser right now. I have to just take care of this as a personal person. And would you mind? And ask, enroll them into that situation of, is this okay if I step away and handle this so I can come back and better service, be better servicing to you?
That's great. Gerald, any input? I know you got your go.
Yeah, I'm going to have to jump off in about a minute or so. But the thing I always do is, one, what's your name? I'm sorry, I didn't get your name.
JD, Jon-David.
Okay, JD. Okay. JD. All right, yeah. See, I like to call people by their name. So, as JD was saying, one, be honest. Let them know something's going on. Two, I always look at the situation exactly for what it is. I'm not one of those people. I don't stack a lot of stuff on top. If it's a situation with my child and they had a little boo-boo at school, it's a little boo-boo at school. It's not, oh my God, they're about to die because they're calling me here. And see, that's what people tend to do. They blow it up. So I try to look at it for what it is and then think about the next step. I don't stay there, okay, what happened? How can I address this right now? Because I need to stay present. And that's the problem. People get caught up in the future. People get caught up in the past. And that's what causes yanks. That's why they lose their A game. So if you can stay present, always ask yourself, what's really happening and what am I going to do about what's happening? And that helps ground you to the moment versus stacking all that stuff on top of one another.
And the presence is the only thing that we can control. We can't control what happened 30 minutes ago. We can't control what we think is going to happen 2 hours from now. It really is about, as Joel said, staying present, because that's the only thing that we can control. That's the only thing that we have for right now. And that really means that we can bring our A game when we are present. So.
Absolutely.
So what about you, Jennifer? Like when you're in the moment and it happens, I assume it's happened in the moment.
Oh, yeah. I think this is where my corporate training really helps me, because I just learned not to really be overly emotional. So now that I'm making the transition, it really is, again, about being present and listening and making sure that I stay engaged. Fortunately for me, a lot of the clients that I'm currently working with are older. Mm-hmm. So they do understand how it is important to always bring their A game. But as I engage with people that are younger, I try to make sure that I strike a balance and not come across as preachy, but at the same time, let them understand that it's really about their reputation, really about their brand and about their long-term business. So as you mentioned, and as Gerald mentioned, it's really about being honest. Absolutely always be honest. They think, well, I'm not going to get the client as a repeat customer. Well, if the client can't understand if you can't bring your A game, if you have a situation that needs to be managed, then that's not the client for you. So it's about being honest, being true to your craft. So if you want to be an expert stylist, if you want to be an expert makeup artist, it's really about being true to your craft and making sure that you can honestly book the appropriate amount of people that you can handle and do well. So that's the second thing. And then also, too, just thinking about how you want to service. So, Jon-David, you talked about being from a state of being appreciative. So how you want to service those particular clients is really about how you can bring your A game. So for me, when I'm having a coaching today, it's really only about being able to manage 4 people and give them the time that they need at one time, because anything more, it becomes too overwhelming. So it's really about being honest, learning 2 years into this almost that I can't really be of service to everyone. It really is about that client that's going to be coachable, who can understand what it is that I'm trying to do and is willing to put the commitment in the work. And then more so, it's just about setting expectations up front. Making sure that we both understand what it is that we're trying to do, making sure that we commit to serving each other, and just making sure that we are in it for the long and short term in order to be able to achieve a goal. So for me, I really don't think that I can do this or really do any task if I don't bring my A game, because I'm wasting my time, but more importantly, your time, Jackie, your time, Jon-David, is important as well.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yeah.
That's exactly when you're in the service industry. It's really about their time, even if they are always late. It's just their time and so forth. And I have a million stories where things happened during my appointment with my clients, and I've been broken up with over the phone after 5 years. That was harsh. Went right back to work, and then it really went into my head. But my head was in staying in the A game because I had a full book of clients coming after that. What was I going to start talking about my situation to this client and then continue the next? It just would go on and on and on, right? And so before we finally got on, Jackie, before I was just kind of alluding to that, is really a good rule of thumb is to complain or to kvetch to the person who can actually do something about what is not making your A game. And it could be your boss. Take your boss aside and don't expand on everything. You don't need to share everything with your boss. But say, having a little situation, can we just talk to it for maybe a minute if that's what you need to do? Or I just got broken up with over the phone. You can joke about it, move through it, but stay in your A game with your client is first and foremost. And no matter how upsetting, I've had some very upsetting things happen while I was behind the chair doing someone's hair. I didn't budge. I just stuck with the client. Afterwards, you can go kind of nutso if you need to.
Okay, so a lot of the people that are watching this in the replay are very young and maybe have not had the behind the chair experience out in the real world, aside from in their classroom, on the floor in the classroom. So what does it look like in our industry, right? What does it look like not to be on your A game so that they can recognize what's occurring?
I'll tell you, I worked by some drama queens, many, many years. And I've had staff members who that was just kind of their mode of operating. Sometimes their drama was high and low, and they attracted that type of client. So if you are the type of service industry provider who has those highs and lows, and you have those ups and downs, you're going to attract that, and it's going to multiply your not A game. So as soon as you learn those techniques, gratitude, meditation, all these things that you think, oh, I have to learn that someday, I say to that young person, why don't you learn them now so you can make more money? Because it will affect your income. It will affect your tips. The more drama clients you bring in, the more late you become and the more crazy you become, and you take on their energy. And if your energy is not centered and you haven't learned those things at a young age, as a young hairdresser, facialist, nail artist, massage therapist, it will multiply back to you. It'll mirror back to you, and you'll attract that if that's who you are.
That's a great point. Jon-David, that's a great point.
Jackie, what I found, and Jon-David, what I found is a lot of the younger clients don't understand that they have to put in the work, that they may not be able to get these celebrity clients in their chair initially, but they have to have a book of clients and they have to do the work in order to be able to attract the celebrity clients. So understanding that Rome wasn't built in a day, we have to start out, but it's most important to service that client to the best of their ability to be able to get that next level of client. So if it means for the first 6 months, you are just cultivating your client base, you're going out, you're talking to your friends, talking to whomever to get people into your chair, and then you service them well, that they can be walking ambassadors or walking branded people for you, and to do them well, and then to be able to draw other people in first and foremost. So appreciate whoever comes in to sit in your chair, because they are paying you for a service and they are helping you build your brand. Secondarily, go out and market your business. Put their photos with their permission on Instagram. Make sure that they leave you good ratings and reviews. So you have to go out and be an advocate for your brand as well as for the salon. And then what's most important, again, you have to appreciate whoever comes in for that service. There are thousands of hairstylists or makeup artists or beauty professionals in the world and in our cities. But when they choose to do business with you, thank you. Can I have your email address? Can I have your telephone number? When can I book you another appointment? So making sure that you can start to cultivate that relationship initially will help them be able to bring their A game. And I think that sometimes the young stylists don't understand that we all have to start from somewhere. Nobody came in day one and became a celebrity stylist or started to make the six-figure incomes the first week that they were in the salon. But when they came in, they showed up, they brought their A game, they were professional, they thanked the client, they were personable, and that helped them build their business and build their reputation.
Yeah, you just brought up a couple of points that I think are really super important in terms of showing your A game, whether you're technically in your A game or not. And they're very little things. It's the thanking. It's the being on time. And I get it. Schedules go over, but as much as you can do as an industry professional to maintain your schedule or try to keep as close to a timely schedule for your clients that's A game. And clients notice, and when you get flustered because you're not on schedule or things are stacking up or there's hair all over the floor and nobody's swept it up. These little things that all add up to a really great customer experience at the end. I think those small things are really what produce A game, right? Of course, great technique and great talent is A game worthy, but little itty bitty things. Remember,
that was another link, Jackie, you just brought up. Bringing your A game, if you really, really study hard your profession, your technique, as you say, that brings your A game too, because that's what you're concentrating on. You just went to a haircutting class, you just went to a esthetician class, and you are now boiling over with this. I want to do this haircut on somebody. I want to bring this joy to somebody. I want to try it out. I want to work with it. That puts your concentration where it needs to be up here. And of course, now you're concentrating on that client to give that to them. Give, which is a wonderful thing that we do. Even learning how to shampoo properly. Like, I love shampooing my clients because, I'm going to relax them. I'm starting that. And that may not seem like a high end 6-figure hairdresser thing to do, but that gets people talking. I know I can keep a client just from the shampoo alone. Not that my work isn't good.
That is the start of a 6-figure business.
It is. It really is.
From the client perspective, very few stylists actually do great shampoos. Memorable shampoos. And that's really the first real contact, that really intimate contact. So I agree completely. I think that's great. And the point that you're making about how on fire we are after we take a new course or even if it's not industry related, but maybe it's a personal development type course, something, we come back and we are on fire. And that completely translates as A game for our customers, right?
Big time. And, Jennifer, you say you came from corporate, and I know your background, and my clients are corporate. And I love them because that's where I get this education from. When I hear corporate techniques, goal-setting techniques, or attraction techniques, or employee meeting techniques, which is not necessarily taught by hair industry professionals to other hair industry professionals, it's an amazing thing that I can co-talk with them. I'm on par with my clients who are in other industries that are quote unquote more professional than mine. So that is another educational thing that helps me bring my A game. So I recommend learn as much corporate stuff as you can. Techniques, right?
For any stylist, for any beauty professional, for the younger ones as well as the more seasoned ones, as long as there's something that they can relate to and interact with their clients about, I think that's beneficial. Whether it's something, it's usually that the clients are looking for some information or some insights on a new product or a new technique, or when Manoy oil was a big thing, or using different type of blowout techniques, like being able to speak intelligently to the client. So, and if you can also, and then people come into when they're looking for a service, it's all about them. So if it's like, hey, what great case are you working on, or how things are in school, it's really all about them. So understanding from a service professional standpoint is anything that you can do to connect to your clients, then it makes them even more so be attracted to you. We all know that we know thousands of people who are masters at cutting or specific type of techniques, but if you can't make a connection to that client, then it's sort of like, will they come back? And you have some people who all they do care about is a technique, but then you have some that really be able to connect to you, Jon-David, because you care, because you ask about my kids, because you ask about my puppy, because I want a couple of you. So being able to really look holistically and figuring out what exactly do I need to do in order to be able to make this client feel like they're the best thing for this next 60 minutes that they're sitting in my chair. I'm giving them service. And that's when you're bringing your A game.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. And it's easy to lose your rep over a game over time. In fact, I broke up with one of my all-time favorite stylists, and I had been with him for 11 years. And I mean, he was beautiful, and I had to book my appointment 6 months in advance, like on a rotating, I would just have to keep booking them out so that I knew I could get in for my color and I could get in for my cut and all that. And over a period of a year and a half, he had to reschedule several of my appointments. And it was so hard to get an appointment to begin with, right? So not A game, right? When you have a client that's been with you for 11 years and you're not attending to what they need over yourself, you lose that A game factor. And I eventually fired him. And a very brief aside to this, since it's just really the three of us now and anybody that's watching later, I broke up with him and then found out, not kidding, 3 or 4 days later, that I was going to the Academy Awards that year. So he could have done Academy Award hair and had that on his
right. Oh, yeah.
So, yeah. So anyway, so you can lose your A game status, right? And we work so hard to build that up in the industry. I mean, everything we do is so we can give to our clients, but also to build our brand, to expand as professionals, to expand as human beings. I mean, really, we're in the business of being human beings in a very intimate way. It's just easy to lose your A game status. I have a question for you both about assistants. Okay, so an assistant is working with a stylist. The stylist is not having their A game day, right? What can the assistant do to help buffer that? I get that it's the stylist's responsibility to manage their own thing, but assistants can actually have a lot of sway on this. So what would you encourage, or what would you bring up that an assistant might be able to do to kind of bridge that?
What do you think, Jennifer?
I think the assistant needs to be able to anticipate what the stylist will need and to be able to maybe have the conversation with the client. The assistant also needs to be able to maybe take some of the heat away from the stylist. I definitely know that I've seen assistants who work for super type A stylists or makeup artists, so they really get a lot of the flack. And so they just need to be able to take that, which is not necessarily fair, but that's just a reality. But I think the best assistant can anticipate what the stylist needs, is 5 or 6 steps ahead of the stylist or the artist, and just be able to be there and sort of just be present, but not in the way, so the stylist can keep moving along. I think the assistant needs to be able to have the color prepped or have the shampoo ready or whatever is necessary so they can bring the stylist along, make sure that the services are being handled properly. That way, it can got black away.
And God bless those assistants that do work for those A-type big personalities that, like me when I was in my 20s, through brushes and so forth. Like, it's like, who is that?
Gordon Ramsay of the hair world.
Oh my gosh! Like when I owned my own hair salon in the 80s, it was big, and I had a name for myself, and oh my god, it was horrible. But and I was okay, but at the same time, it was the 80s. Alexis Carrington on Dynasty was everybody's go-to model. But so bless you, people who have to work with those idiots, which I'm not anymore. But one of the things that you don't want to do as an assistant is to bring attention to that. Like don't aside your client and say, JD's having a really hard day, so don't really piss him off or he'll throw a brush. That is not the way to go. The way to go is to really, just as Jennifer said, really bring in your A game, and you will come up with some interesting things. At that extra time at the shampoo bowl, say, hey, add on service, that conditioner, that strengthener. Say, hey, can I blow dry your client for you? Do those things that, can take the client away. And you know what? That hairdresser will notice. He will notice, she will notice what is going on, what you're doing, and will appreciate that big time.
What I've seen some assistants do, which is an absolute no-no, is to talk badly about the stylist and to try to sway the client to come to them, which is absolutely just not appropriate. So the assistant really has to be in the corner of who they're working with. And I know it can be hard, especially if it's the person who they're working with is not necessarily so desirable, but the assistant really needs to understand that they will get an opportunity to shine, and if they are loyal, even sometimes to the detriment to the stylist, then that's probably what's necessary, because it's really about cultivating that relationship. If it's meant for the assistant to have that client as ultimately their end client, then that will happen. So the assistant can be maintained, be neutral, but productivity is the output for the assistants, and it really is they really are the face for that client.
Yeah, I can tell you, if you're an assistant and you do everything that we've discussed in the show, gratitude, centered, bringing your A game, doing all those things that you think are necessary to bring the A game into the situation. If your A personality hairdresser is going crazy, I guarantee you will be paid back in spades with greatness and hearts and so forth. And you know what? When you get a chair, that customer is more inclined to go to you. They're going to see your work. They've already seen it. They've seen the way you interact with clients. They've seen the way you dress. They see the way you prep or shampoo, or you've done your craft. That will come back at you, and you will take clients from that stylist. It will happen. They will find you. And if that stylist is grabby like this, you could go to a different salon, and they'd probably follow you there because they would leave that salon. If the salon was kind of segregated and people were kind of afraid, sometimes the client is afraid to go to someone else in a salon because A-type personality might flip out. So I've seen that a couple times where the assistant has moved on to a different salon and they've lost clients, or the A-type personality hairdresser has lost clients to that assistant just because they moved to a new salon. And guess what? There's a thing called social media. And the clients that you shampoo, the clients that you get to love in any situation, they can find you. They can find your phone number, and hopefully you have your own website by now, all of you, and you have your Twitter handle going on strong, and you can always invite them there because you're sharing what type of information? Good information. Share our information. Our information is good between Jackie, Jennifer's, and mine. Share ours. It links you to professionalism. It tells the customer you're learning and you're growing.
Absolutely, which is really the start of a whole nother topic. So this is probably a great place to finish up for this week. Mm-hmm. So Jennifer is hosting next week, correct?
Yes.
Yay.
Wonderful. Do we have a topic yet, Jennifer?
No, but I will have a topic by Wednesday.
Fabulous.
Okay,
and
it'll be our Salon Spa Chat. And every time we do, I don't know if you've seen the new website, Salon Spa Chat, # Salon Spa Chat. You can go there. It'll link into Jennifer Ellis Jackson's Twitter, Blab.im. And you can subscribe there for next week. So you'll be subscribing to Jennifer Ellis Jackson's Simple Management Marketing, her Blab, and she'll be the host. She'll be in this seat right here. And
well done, Jon-David.
Yeah, I'm getting good at this, huh? So yeah, looking forward to your topic next week.
That's great. Well, I'd like to thank you all for joining us today. This has been wonderful. I think this is a really great start of a fantastic conversation on Salon Spa Chat here on Blab. Again, if you've never blabbed before, just jump on and do it. Honest to God, it's easy, it's fun, and it's incredibly informative. So,
yeah, join us on this seat down here.
Exactly, right.
That could be you next time. Yeah, there you go.
There we go.
And then talk to us, and we'll answer your questions, and we'll have fun with you, and you add your stories. And I think that's going to be fun in the future on Salon Spa Chat, us talking about our personal stories, which are fun and interesting, but illustrating. And so you can go to salonspachat.com and JackieBernardi.com and SimpleMantraMarketing.com, and of course MafiaHairDresser.com will give you good information.
Exactly. So everybody have a fantastic week. If tomorrow is the start of your week, I hope it is a rip-roaring A-game start for you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Jackie. Great hosting.
Thank you. Take care.